this month's Gateway. Now, most of you guys would be aware, but if you've only just joined us on the Gateway as a new member, today is the beginning of 2012. So to everybody watching this video who is part of our founding membership, congratulations and welcome to 2012. I hope it's going to be everything you've dreamed of. So today, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and it's going to be super simple. But instead of you just sitting there watching me today, we're going to do this month's Gateway video together. Because it doesn't matter whether it's the beginning of a new year, or it's the beginning of a new quarter, or any time in the year, really. This one is going to be a video that you can come back and revisit as often as you want to. And I'm going to encourage you to come back and revisit this video every 3 months. That's right, every 3 months. Because this is what I do. And I'm going to share with you a little secret today. And some of you might know it, some of you might not. But what I do every 3 months is I set my new goals. And I set my new goals using the techniques and technologies that we've been learning over the last 9 months. And now what I'm going to share with you is the actual process that I'm going to go through, setting my goals for 2012. And I'm going to do it with you live. So I'd really love it if you could get your own set of paper and your own set of pens out. Try and get 2 colours if you can. And get that out now. So take a moment and quickly grab that. Great, welcome back. So let's get started. Because 2012, or any year for that matter, should be a year or a time of the year where you start to get clear and real, intensity around what it is that you want to achieve. We only get what we want when we become it. And we've said this 100 times. The universe only brings us who we are. It doesn't bring us what we want. So we've got to get real clarity on who it is that we're being in order to create deliberately the kind of experiences and the kind of results that we really, really want. So let's get started. We're going to set our goals, and we're not going to get too carried away, because we're only going to set our goals for the first 3 months. That's right, just 3 months. Because again, I want to encourage you to come back and revisit this video every 3 months. I find that if we set our goals too far into the future, they become too unrealistic and too unachievable, and we forget about them. Whereas if we can get clarity over 3 months, real clarity, and I mean intense clarity, which is what we're going to do today, we're going to get exactly what it is that we want to achieve. And that's the whole purpose of it. So if you set goals that are too grandiose and too far out, you're going to forget about them. Other things are going to take place in the year, and let's face it, the whole world can change inside of a 3-month period, or inside of a 3-day period for that matter. So let's set our goals in small, achievable chunks, but we're only going to set them 3 months at a time, because I can guarantee you the person I'm going to be in 3 months' time is going to be very different to the person who's going to be standing here delivering the Gateway video that I am today. So just 3 months. So let's go. Let's get started. Let's have a look at what our specific goals are. And the way that we get our goals is simply by establishing what's important to us over the next 3 months. So let's have a look at it. What's important to you over the next 3 months? Now start to write this down as I'm writing mine down on the blackboard here, or the whiteboard, sorry. So write down your own goals over the next 3 months. Now you don't want more than 5 or 7 at the most. That's the most number of goals that you want to write down. Because if you write down more than 5 or 7 goals inside of a 3-month period, you're setting yourself up for a world of, self-sabotage, which some of us, we do it to ourselves, and we become addicted to that feeling of going after a goal, not achieving it, and then having something to beat ourselves up about. Some of us do get addicted to that payoff of having something to beat ourselves up about and confirm the fact that, yeah, see, look, I told you you couldn't do it, or, I know you're not good enough. We don't want to set ourselves up for any of that this year, or at any time of the year when you do this process. So all you want is 5 goals, and I'm only going to write down 5. I'm not going to even go as far as 7, because what I want to achieve in the next 3 months is pretty huge. So you get ready, you write down 5 things that are most important to you to achieve over the next 3 months. Let's write them down together, should we? Okay, so you write yours and I'll write mine. Ready? Don't number them yet. Just write down the goals of what's important to you. So what's important to me is my television bid and pilot. Because this year I plan on launching a television show both online and offline. But I need to put the pilot together before I can do anything. So I'm going to create the bid while I'm putting the pilot together, because the bid is like a proposal document. And I can start working on that now because I already have clarity on what my television show is going to be about. So that's going to be one of the things that I want to achieve. Write down your next goal now as I'm writing down my next goal. I want to, and this is, the goals will be completed as of the 31st of March. So that gives you a bit of perspective on your time frame. So we're at the 1st of January now, or the 3rd of January now, and these goals are going to be achieved by the 31st of March. So it's only 3 months. It's not a long time. So don't set yourself up with too much to achieve. So I'm going to do my television bid and my pilot. I'm going to research, helps if you can spell, research a platform for my online TV network. Now, I'm not going to complete it and I'm not going to launch it like I had originally thought that I would. I won't be launching the television network until at least the second quarter of this year. So I still have a lot of work to do on this. So what I'm planning on doing is just the research on it, just so that I can get the platform. Now I need the platform, and the platform is the IT platform for the television network. I've got the concept, I've got all the contracts, I've got everything that I need to know to get EmpowerNet online. But the platform is the IT platform. Now unfortunately, I have to have that built from scratch. And I don't know that the technology actually even exists here in Australia. So I'm going to be researching across Australia and also into the US. So that's my second goal, or one of my goals. One of my other goals is to remain financially, well actually no, let's not remain. Let's step it up a bit. You know what? My next goal is not going to be so much about what I achieve. My next goal is going to be about how I feel. I'm going to be a big player in the first 3 months of this year. So I want to be a big player. And what that basically means to me is playing big in the realms of business. So what's next? I plan, actually, no I don't plan, I will have my book completed. So that's another goal. I will complete my book. And for those of you who don't know, my book's called Soul Survivor, S-O-U-L, Survivor. So I'll have that completed. And at the editors. And that'll be done by the 31st of March for sure. I'll have the book through to the editors at the end of January, and then it'll take about 2 months for them to begin and complete the editing process with me. So far I've got putting my TV bid and my pilot together. I've got researching my platform for my online network. I've got playing big, being a big player. You know, I feel like each time I run this gateway video, I step myself up another level. So I plan to step myself up at least another 3 levels over the next 3 months. And that's more of an experience for myself and how I feel about myself and how I believe in myself and my ability to achieve big things. You know, and I've said this a couple of times, beware of playing big from a small place. So, you know, you want to set yourself big goals and big achievements. You want to be playing big to get there. Don't try and play small and achieve big things. Beware of that. It's a trap for young players, which I've fallen into a couple of times. So I've got TV bid, I've got my research, I've got being a big player of completing my book, and I'm going to add one more in. And this one's going to bake your noodle, because it's not just come up for me. It's something that has completely and totally inspired me from the bottom of my bottom. I've always dreamt of flying helicopters. Always. My dad was a pilot when I was a kid, so we always spent a lot of time up in the air while he was flying his planes. And we all loved it. Still to this day, all three of us kids absolutely love flying. Now I thought that if I was going to want to fly anything, I'd fly a plane. But no, my thing is helicopters. So I've done some investigating and I've done some research, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get my helicopter's license. But in the first 3 months of this year, I'm gonna get at least 3 flying lessons before I start the journey of getting my helicopter's license. So I'm going to get 3 flying lessons in a helicopter. 3 flying lessons. Oh, bad spelling again. 3 flying lessons. Now I've already got my first one booked for the 11th of January, which I just can't wait for. And I'm about to book in a second one, and I'll probably book in a third one somewhere around mid-February, because we're back down in Sydney in February and we're back in Sydney in March. So I think I'm going to fit that in okay. I think that's fairly achievable. So there are my 5 goals. Hopefully you've got your 5 written down as well. If you don't have your 5 written down just yet, turn off the video and write them down, and then come back and then we'll take you through the next step. But if you do have your 5 written down, let's go. Let's get into the next step. So now we're going to number them in order of importance to us. And we're simply going to use a very similar method that you should be familiar with if you've read the Passion Test. If you haven't read the Passion Test, jump online now and order a copy at karensmith.com, C-A-R-R-E-N Smith.com, and order your own copy of the Passion Test, and I'll get it out to you in the next 2 days. But what we're going to do now is number these in order of importance to us. So I want you to do the same thing with your list of what's important to you. So if I'm to look at these as to what's important to me, let's use the Passion Test process, where we start off by saying, okay, TV bid and pilot, is that more important to me than researching my online platform? Yes, it is. Great, so TV bid and pilot is still my number 1. Now, is TV bid and pilot more important to me than being a big player? Well, I kind of need to be a big player in order to do that. So being a big player is actually now my number 1. Is being a big player more important to me than completing my book and getting it to the editors? Well, based on the time frame that I'm on right now, this is actually much more important to me, because I have to have my book to the editors by the end of January so that my book can be on the shelves in August, ready for the 10-year anniversary of the 2002 Bali bombing. So being a big player, yeah, it's part of who I'm going to be. But as far as what I'm going to be doing, completing my book is super, super crucial. It's my number 1 priority, my number 1 most important. So I have to move with that now. That has to now become my number 1. So is completing my book more important than getting flying lessons? Absolutely. So out of my list, my number 1 is completing my book. No questions asked about that. So let's go back to the top again and have a look. My TV bid and pilot, that was more important than researching my platform. TV pilot, big player. Well, I already said that being a big player was a bit more important, so right now that's looking like it's number 2. And is being a big player more important than my flying lessons? Yes, it is, definitely. So being a big player is number 2 for me. So why don't you go ahead and number your most important using the same process as the Passion Test. Turn the video off and go ahead and number your own in order of importance to you. And I'll be right back. Okay, and welcome back. So I hope you've been able to order yours in order of importance. As you can see, I've got my top 5 here, all ready to go. So now, the next step in achieving what we want to achieve in the next 3 months is certainly having clarity on what it is that we need to do. But based on what we already know in previous videos, the doing is simply the action part. It's the, and you know, these are the end results. You know, there's a whole stack of work that's got to be done in order to produce these results. But what is it that's going to keep me on track? What is it that's going to keep me focused on my end result? What is that? We already know, don't we? It's not what we're doing and it's not the result, but it's who we're being. That's the beginning and the source of all performance. So now my job is to have a look at each one of these in order of importance and write down who I need to be to achieve this kind of outcome. Because if I go into any kind of big outcome like these, and these are big for me right now, so if I try and think that I can achieve all of these by playing small, how much chance have I got of achieving it? A donut, nothing, nil, Buckley's. I've got to go into achieving my goals being the kind of person who will then take the right kind of action to bring these into fruition. I can't just set the goals and stick them on my mirror and hope for the best. You know, a lot of times we'll write our goals and then we'll post them all over the house, which I definitely suggest that you do. But your goals have got to be more than just this. Your goals have got to give you clarity on the person you need to be, and then you take responsibility for being that person in order to achieve these results. There's one more step that most teachers and most inspirational and motivational teachers miss, which is the being. So let's get stuck into it. So for me to complete my book and get it to the editors by the end of January, because I'm not giving myself to the end of March on this one, I've got till the end of January on this one. So for me to complete my book, what do I have to be? Who do I have to be? You know what? I've got to be really focused. I've got to be really focused. So I'm writing focus in a completely different colour and underlining it. So that's who I need to be. I've got to be focused. Now for me that's a bit of an effort because I have a lot of demands on my time. And as you know, I have a lot of people in my life. So I have a lot of things coming at me all the time. What are we now? The 3rd of January, and my January, February and March, if you look at my calendar, has something booked into it every day, including the weekends, already. So it's pretty full on living in this skin. So I've got to be really, really focused. And you know what else? And I'm getting this just now as I'm talking to you. I've got to be prepared to say no. I've got to say no. So I'm going to write that down for myself because that's a big one. That's a big one for me. Because I'm a real, you know, I love to say yes and I love to help people and I love to contribute and make a difference. And because I know I can, and I also know I have the capacity, I do all the time, which is why my diary is full between now and March. But I do have to learn to say no if I'm going to get this book completed. So if any of you guys call me and you hear no, I can't make a coffee, you'll know why. Okay, so number 2 is being a big player. So that's the result. I want to be a big player in business, a big player in business. So who do I have to be a big player in business? Well, you know what? I need to be confident. And I need to trust myself. So that's who I need to be. I need to be somebody who is confident, and I need to be somebody who trusts themselves, not just sometimes, all the time. And I'm starting to get that. I'm really starting to get that sense of trusting my intuition and trusting my inner guide and standing on my stone for all that I'm worth, on what I know to be right for myself. So I'm really getting incredible clarity around that, which is magical. But I know I can improve on that. So that's what I think I need to be there. What do I need to be in order to put the bid together and create the pilot? Wow. I know. I need to be resourceful. Resourceful, because I need to find the people, and I already have my film crew, but I need to find the people, and I also need to create the environment to film the pilot. And then I also need to be resourceful in terms of finding out exactly what needs to go in the bid. and I'm going to be pitching my bid to the ABC television network. So I need to be resourceful in finding out who I need to speak to find out what needs to go in that bid. So I need to be resourceful, and I'm going to need to be tenacious. So I need to be tenacious. Somebody who doesn't give up, somebody who keeps going. Because there are a lot of people, I'm sure, pitching for television networks, and not everybody has got what it takes to be on camera. So I'm going to be resourceful. And again, I'm also going to be confident in my inspiration. Start that again, shall we? Inspiration. So that's who I need to be for my television bid. To research my platform and online network, well again, I'm going to have to be resourceful and tenacious. So I'm just going to write this here, resourceful. And I'm going to have to be tenacious. Oh. And my flying lessons. Well, you know what? That's not going to take too much. All I have to do is be energetic. Energetic. And you know who else I have to be in order to take these flying lessons? I have to be committed to me. And I have to put me first. Put me first. So, there are my goals. They're numbered in order of importance. And I've got clarity on who I need to be in order to create these goals and bring them to fruition. So now you go ahead, if you haven't already done it, you go ahead in a different colour pen and write down who you need to be in order to achieve each of these goals. Take a moment to write that down and then come back and we'll go through the next step. Great, well done. I hope you've got down your goals, I hope you've numbered them in order of importance, and you've written down who you need to be to make them come to fruition. So now here's the next step, and this one's the most magical step. Here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to talk you through it. But what we're going to do is we're going to create an experience of having been this person achieving this end result. And I'm going to talk you through it just once. But you can replay this part of the video for each of your experiences. Or you can just go off and do it yourself. So here's what I want you to do now. I want you to put your pen down and I want you to get comfortable in your seat, put your feet firmly on the floor, and I'm going to talk you through a mini meditation where you're going to get clarity on the experience of achieving your outcome. So when I say the words achieving your outcome, I want you to just imagine yourself in the end step of having achieved your first goal, your very first goal. So for me, if I was doing this exercise, I would be doing it on completing my book and having it to the editors. So I want you to take your first goal and do this exercise on it. And then once we've done number 1, I want you to then go ahead and do number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 if you've got 7 goals. I want you to go through and do this exercise or this process on each one of the goals. So go ahead and close your eyes now. Take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in, allowing your chest to rise and out. And one more cleansing deep breath in and out. Bring your hands to rest by your side, making sure your feet are firmly placed on the ground, ensuring your eyes are closed. Very good. Just follow my voice and my voice will take you through the process. Very good. Bring to the forefront of your mind the end step, the very end step of your first goal, your number 1 priority, your number 1 goal. Bring to the forefront of your mind now the end step. See yourself at the completion of having achieved that goal, that number 1 goal. See yourself in the end step right now, as if it's happening right now. Very good. I want you to hear the sounds of what you can hear around you as you complete and achieve that goal. Hear what you can hear around you. Very good. And now I want you to get a sensation in the pit of your stomach as to what it feels like to have fulfilled and achieved that goal, that number one, most important priority. Feel the feelings of what that feels like to have achieved that goal, to be in completion and to know you have achieved it. Feel how that feels and allow that feeling to exhilarate every cell in your body now. Feel yourself tingle. Feel the pins and needles and the tingling of that achievement curse through your body now. Feel that. Feel the magic of what that feels like. Take a very deep breath in. Allow your chest to rise and out. And quietly, keeping your eyes closed, acknowledge yourself, the person that you have been to bring that result to fruition. Who is it that you had to be? Acknowledge yourself for who you have been, and acknowledge the times when you fell off the wagon, and acknowledge the times that you picked yourself back up again and became responsible for being the kind of person you needed to be to bring that result into fruition. Acknowledge that. Feel gratitude for yourself. Feel trust, feel confidence, feel the knowing that comes with being the kind of person that is capable of achieving that result. And know that you can do it all over again with ease. Allow your heart to open. Feel the center of your heart now begin to open as you feel a grand sense of love and acceptance for the power and the self that exists within you, that has all power, all potency, and all potentiality to be, do, have, and create anything that you set out to create. Congratulate yourself. Feel a sense of gratitude, acknowledgement, excitement, fun, warmth, and joy curse through your body now. Feel that. Feel it course through your veins. Congratulate yourself. Very good. Take a deep breath in. Allow your chest to rise and open your eyes. Well done. Well done. You've given yourself a full sensory experience of having achieved your goal. And that is now your job for the rest of the goals that you've set for yourself. I hope that this Gateway session has been really valuable for you, as it has been for me, because I am standing here right now covered in goosebumps for me and for you. So enjoy this Gateway. Feel free to play it as often as you want to. My suggestion is every 3 months. Go through the process. You'll never look back. And you'll always find yourself achieving a new level of success and a new level of potency in your life, I promise you. So enjoy. Congratulations, Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you next time we're on the Gateway video. But I will talk to you on the 15th for this month's call. Bye for now.